Yay. Oh. Hey, actually. Hey, Gina, can you hear me? You're muted. So I don't know if you can hear me, but will someone let me
hear you?
Yay!
Yay!
I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm so glad you're doing this.
Me too. Okay. I'm gonna, when I plug my mic set in, it won't let me hear you guys. But after the class, I think I'll unplug it so we can talk if anyone wants to.
Okay. Sounds good. And I actually am gonna step away for a minute because I have to finish setting up my space.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Kim.
Hey, who's that?
This is Lindsay.
Oh, okay.
Computer.
Hey, Lindsay. I was like, who is Aparsana? And Megan. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are here.
Me too. Is this your house?
This is.
Looks beautiful. What a nice space.
I stopped teaching at InBody right now. It just doesn't make sense for me to leave my family.
Yeah.
So this is the first time I'm trying to run all of this technology. I'm really, really hoping it goes smoothly.
Looks good so far.
Oh, thank you. Yay, I'm so happy people are on. Carol! Sandurta. Liz. Awesome. I didn't know I have to keep admitting people. I thought it would just let people in. How's everyone doing? You guys are all muted, so I can't hear you. Liz, I can't hear you. I just hear your mouth move.
We're doing good.
I'm glad.
We're going to do Walmart pickup today, which is our first adventure since quarantine.
We did Walmart pickup this week too, for the first time. It was an adventure. They forgot some of my vegan cheese, but I consider it a success. It was very nice. One of the hardest things with this all has been for me is adapting and learning new technologies.
Yeah.
Like, look at it now.
Oh, look at all these people.
This is so cool. Diana. Monica, is that you? I can't believe you're here.
Oh, all these peoples. I'm close here. Cool.
Where did you guys go?
Hi, Kim.
Hey, let's see, where did?
That was Lisa.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. Oh, great. Did you guys hear, I don't know, I thought people would just hop in. It looks like I have to manually add people. Hopefully people don't try to add while I'm teaching because I won't be able to add them. So I think today my plan is I want to teach. I was going to teach for that workshop at 21st. So the class might be a little bit longer. I think it's really important, fun information. Oh, it's so cool to see everyone in their space. Ty's been working 10-hour days lately, just crazy. And then they were gonna have him work today, but instead they had him work last night. So he worked 10-hour days yesterday and then went to work from 2 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Oh my God.
He just got home and he's with the kids. I have a feeling he's gonna fall asleep and the kids might end up down here, so.
What kind of work does he do?
He's he's a welder and a pipe fitter. So right now they're working up at Primary Children's.
Oh, wow.
They think that, or he thinks that they're trying to get as much work done as possible if they have to close the job.
Yeah, that's how my husband's warehouse is too. He runs Mountain Valley Seeds, which, by the way, if anybody needs gardening seeds, I'm gonna drop off a ton at 21st.
Oh, awesome. I want seeds. We're building a raised garden bed for vegetables.
Cool.
Let's see.
Okay. So when I plug my headphone set, it's gonna mute, or I won't be able to hear you. I keep exiting out of the screen.
I think you can mute everyone, Kim.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna mute you all and I'm gonna start the class. Thank you all for being here. Let's see it. Make sure you, once I plug this in, tell me if you can hear me on my mic. Here it goes. Maybe give thumbs up since I won't be able to hear you.
I'm cold.
Kim, if it's tricky, we can just all mute our own.
Oh. Let's see.
Goodness, you guys, I did so many sound checks with this yesterday and it worked. I finally got it to work. I'll try one more time. Hello, hello. Ah. Hello. Well, you can hear, but you don't hear me with the mics. When I go farther away, it's only working right now because I'm not plugged in. Okay, you guys start seated meditation. Then I'll ask you for a mic check once I think I have it working, or we'll just proceed with no mic. It would be the end of the world, but I really want to use the mic.
So there's a little arrow next to the icon for the microphone, and you can select an input. And maybe it's just defaulting to something else and not the microphone.
What about now? Can you hear me now? It's not turning green.
You can hear me.
Hello, 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 you can hear me? Yes! So glad we figured that out. Yes. That's so interesting. It's a different cable than worked yesterday for me. Okay. So can you guys still hear me from back here? Awesome. Let's see. Did I make it? mute all. Okay. I have my phone near me, so if something happens, you can send me a text message. And maybe I'll see it that way. Okay, so I wanted to talk about Ayurveda and how we can use Ayurveda to, I'm going to change it so I can see your guys' faces so I don't feel like I'm just talking to myself. I wanted to talk about Ayurveda and how we can use Ayurveda to help us align with the seasons so that we can feel healthier and we can be happier and more functioning and we don't get run down with being sick. So a lot of you guys on the call have been doing lots of yoga with me. So in Anusara Yoga, we talk about optimal alignment a lot. Optimal alignment is this place where we're less likely to get injured, we have more longevity, we experience more clarity, more happiness, more vitality. And the way we move towards optimal alignment, we'll often talk about the gunas. So we have tamas, which I'll say is too little, rajas that I'll say is too much, and we're trying to get to sattvic, which is just right. So in our yoga postures, if we have too much flexibility, so too much flexibility will add more stability. If we have too much stability, we're too stiff or we're too muscular, we'll try to add the opposite, more flexibility, so that we're adding the opposite, which helps us come to optimal alignment. So this is like an allopathic application, applying the opposite. So Ayurveda is the same way, but instead of using like postures, it's how are we aligning with herbs, with the food we're eating, with rituals we're doing, with our daily routine. So, and they do this with the 5 elements. So these are, for those of you who have studied tattvas, the tattvas are the way we explain in Anusara and some yoga philosophy how this one manifests into the many. And so at the bottom of the tattva charts, the most dense elements are the 5 elements. So we have earth, this is like very stabilizing. We have water, which is movement, but it's still pretty heavy. We have fire, which is like the heat for transformation. We have air, which is also movement, but it's much lighter. And we have ether, which is like the space that allows it all to exist in. And some of you who've heard of Ayurveda before have probably heard of the doshas. The doshas are kind of the most popular Ayurvedic knowledge out there. So it's saying that each person is comprised of all 5 of these elements, but some elements will be more dominant. So my husband is mainly, they call it kapha, which is earth and water. So he's like really stable. It's a little hard to get him moving, but he's very dependable. I'm pitta, so I'm fire. So I'm like heated and passionate and like really like to go, but I can get burned out. So it's really interesting to know what your elements are, because if, like, let's say I'm fire. So if I eat more fire, if I'm out in the sun more, all of that's gonna raise up my fire, and it's gonna make me unbalanced. Same thing with my husband, if he's earthy. So if he eats heavy food, if he watches too much TV, all of those kind of earthy elements and activities are gonna make him more earthy and thus out of balance. So again, we're trying to apply the opposite. And seasons are the same. So that's really what I wanted to talk today about. Winter, the season we're coming out of, is, they call it a vata season. So it's air and ether. So it's cool, it's dry, it's mobile. Yeah, and so the way you kind of balance out and stay balanced in winter is you eat heavier foods, you try to keep your body warm, you want to keep your body moist, like using oil, drinking tea. That's going to help you balance out the qualities that are really prevalent, that word I can't say, in the winter. So you eat a kapha-like diet in winter because winter is like vata, so that's how you apply the opposite so you can stay more balanced. However, this is when people kind of mess up in the transition to spring. Because in springtime, we have a lot of moisture and we have a lot of earth. So it's kapha season, but we were eating kapha light in the winter to be balanced. But if you continue to eat and live kapha light in the spring, now you're going to have too much kapha. And when you have an excess of kapha, you have extra mucus, you have extra fluid in your body. It's easier to get a cold, easier to have respiration issues. And I thought that was really interesting with coronavirus, is we really want to do everything we can to be avoiding any kind of respiratory issues. So eating things like sweet food is a kapha food, so like artificial flavors or potatoes, most carbohydrates are sweet. All of that adds to kapha. So to balance it out, you want to eat spicy food, pungent foods, bitter foods. You want to do movement activities since earth is so stabilizing. You want to wake up early. If you sleep in, it's kapha energy. So if you wake up early, if you want to go to bed before 10 ideally, because if you stay up past 10, you get your second wind as it moves into the fire element, and then it's harder to wake up early. So Ayurveda is a fascinating way of practicing more yoga, practicing how can I align with not just my body to create optimal alignment, not just my mind, not just my heart, but how do I align with the activities I'm doing, the food I'm eating. So I think that's really interesting. If you guys have any questions, we can talk about that after. Does that kind of make sense? So we're gonna do twists. Awesome. We're gonna do some twists today to help wring out toxins, because in kapha, it's about accumulation. So we've accumulated a lot of toxins in our body, mucus in our body, just like our house. So we're gonna try to spring clean. So we're gonna do lots of twists. We're gonna do some breathing exercises. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, so we have an upright seated posture. Your eyes closed. Use your awareness and your focus to calm yourself down. If you feel a little agitated, or if you're feeling a little sleepy, use your breath and your awareness to wake yourself up. So we are always doing this in yoga, I think. And sometimes we don't call it, we don't say what we're doing, but we're adding the opposite. If you feel like you're staring at a screen a lot lately, add the opposite. Go stare at your garden. And draw your hands in front of your heart. Bring your hands up to your chest. Lift your chest up towards your thumbs. Draw your shoulders down your back. Feel the energy that this posture brings you. And we'll tune in with one Om, one round of the Anusara invocation, followed with one more Om. Take a full breath in. Hold your breath and lengthen through the top of your head. And exhale. And then we'll tune in. Inhale. Om Namah Shivaya. Satchitananda Mortaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Keep your eyes closed, bring your hands back down to your knees. Begin to witness your breath. Doing this long, deep breathing where you inhale, the diaphragm relaxes, which pulls the lungs down to take in the air. As the air comes in, you fill up your low belly, your ribs, your chest, your collarbones. And as you exhale, the diaphragm relaxes. I think I said that backwards. It pushes the air out of the lungs, and the air leaves your torso. First the collarbones, then the ribs, then the belly draws in and up. As you inhale, becoming round like a barrel. And as you exhale, pull your belly button to your spine and get taller. This breath is really good at calming the nervous system down, and this breath is really powerful when we do our twist to make sure that we're getting the most cleansing effect as we can from the twist, because we're using the breath and we're moving the organ so much. And now we're going to move into breath of fire. So start, stick up your tongue and begin to pant like a dog. It's a little different than Kapalabhati, where it's just exhales, or Vastriki. So you want to inhale and exhale. Equal length of both. And when you inhale, the belly should be extending out, and when you exhale, the belly button should be pulling in. Once you've gotten that rhythm, shut your mouth and do it through your nose. Continue this. Close your eyes and turn your gaze up towards the third eye point between the eyebrows. Breath of fire is a great way of cleansing the lungs. A breath of fire every day would be ideal. A lot of you guys know I love taking my yoga practice into my car. Lately I've been doing, well, not lately because I don't drive these days, but I was doing breath of fire when I drove. Like, great way to get it in. Try to create a rhythm. More seconds. Continue. Imagine this internal fire can burn away the thought patterns or the fears or the habits you're engaging in that aren't helping you show up in a more clear, happy, helpful way. Inhale. Hold your breath, lengthen through the top of your head. And exhale. Keep your eyes closed. Notice any shift in the way the mind feels, the way the body feels. Doing breath of fire would be a great way to add something into your routine for spring that adds in heat and that adds in mobility to counter the coolness and steadiness of spring. Okay, let your eyes open and come up to standing. Come to the top of your yoga mat. Feel the earth underneath your feet. And then as you inhale, stretch your arms up towards the sky. Push through your feet and get taller. And then as you exhale, fold down, Uttanasana. Hips over your heels. Inhale, hands to your thighs, stretch your spine long. Take a few extra rounds of breath here. If when you come up halfway, you do a back bend, add the opposite, which is more support, belly in. And if when you come here, you round a ton, do the opposite and try to back bend more. Now come more into that soft bit just right. Exhale, hinge forward, Uttanasana. Push through your feet and try to get your hips to lift up more towards the sky. Then push down and come all the way up, stretch up. And exhale, hands through heart center. We're going to move through 3 sun salutations. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, hinge forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, hands to your thighs, stretch your chest forward. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Hands about outer shoulder distance apart. Heels lifted away from the floor. Little bend in your knees, sitting bones up. Inhale, come forward to plank, top of a push-up. The index knuckle fingers tend to want to lift up the most, so that's where you want to push down with the most force. Either keep your knees lifted or bring your knees to the floor. Lower part way down and pause, chaturanga. Keep the shoulders lifting up into the shoulder sockets, and then straighten the arms. Bend the elbows, straighten, bend. Keep the shoulders lifting up as you lower your hips, belly down. Push through the tops of the feet, belly button pulls to the spine. Try to drag yourself forward and curl cobra. When you feel ready, press back, downward facing dog. Look forward, bottom of your exhale, step or hop your feet forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. Powerful feet. Belly button pulls to the spine, hands to the hips, come up to standing. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, hinge and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. Apply your opposite. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank. Hold, plank, knees down or up. On your next exhale, lower a little bit and pause. And then come all the way down. Strong feet, strong core, lengthen and curl. Earlobes in line with your collarbones, heart pulling forward, shoulders pulling back. Downward facing dog. Start to feel the heat in the body. So this is a great antidote to the coolness of spring. Internal heat taught us. Look forward to come forward and step or hop. Uttanasana. Hips stay over the heels. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, pull belly button to spine. Hands to come to hips. Come up to standing. And nice. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. Out. Pause in your Uttanasana, and from your fingertips, draw your shoulders up your spine and move your head around. Shoulders always finding the connection to the heart. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. As you inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. Keep your hips squared. Right pinky toe faces the floor. Push through your hands and up through your right foot. And step your right foot forward between your hands. If it doesn't make it, grab your foot, pull it forward. Stretch your spine forward away from your hips. And then take your hands to your hips, push through your feet and come up to your lunge. Stretch your arms up to the sky. All right, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog, left leg up. Left pinky toe towards the floor. Push and stretch. Step your left foot forward between your hands. Stretch your heart forward. Same as in the Uttanasana. If you're back bending, pull your core in, and if you're rounding, lengthen out. This would be a good place to use blocks too. Belly button pulls to the spine for stability. Hands come to the hips. Come on up. Stretch. Right, plant your hands. Step back to plank. Either stay in downward facing dog, sit upright for a brief meditation, or move through a vinyasa. And then coming back to downward facing dog if you're not there. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Widen your left hand. Take your right hand to your knee and turn your chest to the right. We're going to be doing lots of twists today. So normally when people do a twist and they turn to the right, notice what happens to the left hip. The left hip turns to the right too. So this turns into more of a turn or a spin instead of a twist. So in order to make it a twist, we want to apply the opposite. So from the belly button to the head, we're twisting to the right. But from the belly button to the foot, we're turning to the left. So you want to apply the opposite. Hips to the left, chest to the right. And you want to do this so that the hips stay about neutral. Then push down through the feet, lengthen through the crown of your head, and stretch the top arm up to the sky. And begin to practice your long, deep breaths. Inhaling, pulling the breath down into the low belly, into the ribs, up to the collarbones, pushing the organs into the twist. And then exhale, pulling the belly button to the spine as you empty the air, collarbones towards pelvis. Inhale, unwind. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. Step your left foot forward between your hands. Create length. This time, don't allow your right hip to drop to the floor when you do the twist. So already in your lunge, begin to do a slight twist in your hips from the left towards the right. Then widen your right hand. Push through your right hand. Take your left hand to your hip. And from the right, turn your chest to the left. I like to use my left hand, top hand, and place my hand on my low back to notice how much my hip is dropping. When you're ready, stretch the arm up. And whether you're working your physical alignment or you're trying to align with your food and your herbs and your routines, for me, I really have to make sure that I don't get neurotic with it. It's really easy for me to try to become a perfectionist, and then it makes it even more unbalanced, even if I'm doing it perfectly. It doesn't need to be perfect, it's just this knowledge helps us align a little bit better. Inhale, unwind, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. You can skip all of these if you wanted to. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, lengthen and curl, stretch to the toes, stretch to the top of the head. Exhale, sit back on your heels, hero's pose meditation. I'm a really big fan of sitting on a block. between my heels. Most of the time, our eyes dart from here to there, taking in information. This stimulates the sympathetic nervous system. Most of the time, our breath tends to be shallow up in the chest. So when we do our practice, we can apply the opposite for more balance, is to keep our eyes steady. When the eyes are open, having about one spot you're looking at, one area. When they're closed, giving your eyes a definite spot to look at. My default is the center of the forehead. The same with the breath, being intentional that you're taking long, deep breaths to help counter all of the shallow breaths we tend to habitually take. Okay, let your eyes open. We're going to do Anjali Mudra. So take your hands together in front of your heart. And draw your shoulders in and up. And then draw your shoulders back and down. Just kind of like in and up. Shoulders come up and narrow. This tends to be the way we normally hold it. When this life is stressful. And then draw your shoulders back and down and broad. This position that lifts and elevates the heart. So when we do twist, we want to be doing it with this, come forward in case you have. We want to be doing all of our shoulder stuff, not forward and rounded forward, but wide, head of the arm bones back, scapula tips together. So the arm bone is really connected to the shoulder girdle. With your arms like that, turn your chest towards the right. And can you feel how your left knee goes forward? And your hips are no longer even. Come back to center. Twist your chest to the left. Notice if your right knee comes forward. We'll do it again. Turn to the right. This time as you turn the chest to the right, pull your hips and try to turn your hips to the left. And we're gonna come down and hook the left elbow over to the outside edge of the right knee. When I'm here, I personally like to make my bottom hand a fist. So my left hand's a fist, my right hand's flat on top of it. Push your hands down. Left elbow pushes into right knee. Chest rotates from the left to the right. And turn your hips from the right to the left. And if you gaze down at your knees, you want them to be about in one line. Bring your nose back in line with your heart. And practice your deep breaths. Inhale, breathing into your low back, all sides of the ribs, up into your heart. Feel yourself expand, and then exhale, use your core strength to push all the air out. On your next inhale, come back up through center. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. Reintegrate your shoulders. Twist your chest to the left. Turn your hips to the right. And then hook right elbow, outside edge of left knee. Maybe make a fist with your right hand. Try to push your chest more up towards the sky. Drop your head for a moment, your gaze, and look at your right knee. And pull your hips towards the right. So the right knee pulls back into the right hip socket. Deep breaths. Both of the shoulders in their home, in the shoulder sockets. Exhaling all the air out. On your next inhale, unwind. Come back up through center. Great. We're going to do that in a lunge now. So first come up to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky. Then we're going to rotate the hips. Open your hips to the right. You can keep your right leg straight or bend your right knee. And notice what the left shoulder does. So the left shoulder in this case is what tries to turn with your hips. So as the hips turn from the belly button to the feet to the right, think about rotating belly button to hands to the left, keeping the shoulders neutral. And then step your right foot forward between your hands. Create length. And then lower your left knee down. You could fold over your mat or throw a blanket under. Figured the world can be hard enough. Apply the opposite, add some softness. Okay, so in your low lunge, front knee over your ankle, pushing through your feet so the hips stay elevated. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. Create the counter in the hips. Hips turning to the left slightly. From the belly button to the head, rotate your chest towards the right. And then tip forward. Left elbow hooks over outer right knee. You can make a fist with your left hand if you want. The idea is we're pushing down and we're getting a lift through the side of the right ribs. More space created between belly and thigh. Lengthen through the crown of your head. A student requested a twisting class. She was saying that twists help her release the stress she feels like she's holding on to. Something you could be thinking about if there's something that's going on in your life that feels like you're accumulating into your organism, your whole self. That accumulation is kapha. Inhale, unwind. We're going to pivot to wide leg forward fold to the left. So pivot both of your feet to the left. I like using a block here. Strong legs, hips come forward. And pull your chest forward out of your hips. So when we grab on and accumulate it into like what we're thinking about, what we're feeling, what we're accumulating into our body or the muscles, twist can be a way to mobilize that. Breath can be a way to mobilize that. Creating heat can be a way of transforming that. Okay, you're going to keep your left hand on the block and take your right hand to your hips. We want to keep the hips level. So there's two ways of doing this. One, you allow your hips to go crooked. We're not doing that one. I want you to try to keep your hips up without being neurotic, about neutral. So you can counter twist your hips here towards the left. Strong muscles in your legs so your knees don't twist. And then from your belly button, turn your chest towards the right. Draw the shoulders back into the sockets, lengthen to the crown of the head. You can stay here or you can stretch your top arm up to the sky. I prefer to keep my hand on my hips. Breathe and stretch. And create a long, optimal spine. So not too round, not too hypermobile. As you inhale, unwind. Pivot your feet back to the front of your yoga mat. Step back down your facing dog. Inhale, left leg up to the sky. Hips squared. Shoulders lifted and integrated. Open your hips to the left as you keep the shoulders in place. Maybe think about slightly rotating them to the right. And then work your left foot forward between your hands. Create more length through your spine. Lower your right knee down. Come on up, lunge. Push through your feet, get taller through your head. Bring your hands together and twist towards the left. And see if you can feel how much your right hip went with you. Draw the right hip back. Keep turning the chest to the left. And then hook right elbow outside edge of left knee and push down. Left elbow faces up towards the sky, so you have pressure to push right down into your left foot. Keep the head drawn back, chin slightly tucked so the spine's more in alignment. And lengthen and breathe. Should feel like core work as you use your belly button to pull into your spine. As you inhale, unwind, wide leg forward, fold to the left. Use your block, create length. If you want, you don't have to use your block. Little bend in the legs, muscle of the legs engage. Low belly engage, creating length. As you do the twist, you don't want the twist happening at just one vertebrae. In fact, if there's one section of your spine that tends to twist the most, you want to try to twist there the least. Right hand comes to the floor or the block, left hand comes to your low back. Keep the hips turning to the right. Stabilize the belly, stabilize the neck, and twist your chest. Nose stays in alignment with the heart. From your belly button to your feet, turning to the right, belly button to head, turning to the left. You can stretch the left arm up to the sky if that feels good for you. Inhale, unwind, step back, downward facing dog. You could move through a quick vinyasa here. We are going to do a few arm balances later, so I'm not cueing as many vinyasas to give your hands a little rest, but if you want to bang some out, you're welcome to. And then when you're ready, stretch your right leg up to the sky. You can keep your hips square or open your hips. If you open it, try to not twist the chest. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Lengthen, come up, lunge. We're going to do the twist here. Hands at the heart. Hips. Resisting the turn to the right as you turn your chest. Left elbow hooks over right knee. You do your big breaths. Notice where you're getting the most movement with your inhale. Mine tends to be the front of my ribs. So I try to breathe more into the back of my ribs, the kidneys. As you inhale, unwind. Turn yourself to the left, wide leg forward fold. Stabilize the core, uncurl the sit bones, lengthen through the head. Left hand to the block or the floor, right hand to the hip. Just like we did last time. Options, stay here or take this into a threaded needle variation. So if you do that, you're going to take your left hand somewhere along the outside of the right leg, and then the right hand comes to the block or the floor. Use your left hand to pull your chest to the right. Squeeze the shoulders into the socket, while also keeping the hips level. I love this variation. On your next inhale, lengthen. Step back, downward facing dog. Move through a quick vinyasa if you'd like. When you're ready, left leg to the sky. Maybe open the hip. Step the left foot forward between the hands. Push through the feet, come on up. And for these twisting lunges, it's really important you have good balance, which for me means my stance isn't super long and it's not very narrow. I like a wider stance and a more neutral stance. Take your hands in front of your heart and turn your chest to the left. Hinge forward, hook the right elbow over the outside edge of the left knee. Keep the right shoulder pulled towards the socket, especially if you're wearing a purple tank top, black ponytail, and there's like a Tara or a Buddha in your room. Awesome. As you inhale, unwind, spin your chest to self around to your wide leg forward, fold towards the right. Lengthen. And the left hand will come to the floor or the block, right hand will come onto your hips. Stay here or do the threaded needle version. For the threaded needle, the left hand would hold the right leg. Right hand would come to the floor or the block. Left arm pulls your chest to the right as you use your hips to counter rotate. Notice if your shoulders are coming up towards your ears. Keep them pulling into the heart. Again and again, coming back to the heart. As you inhale, unwind, lengthen, step back, downward facing dog. Really nice. Look forward, bottom of your exhale, bring your feet forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen, take your hands to your thighs and stretch your chest forward. Pause here and notice how much arch you have in your low back. If you have a lot, you can counter some of it with pulling the core in a little more. But see if now you can use your breath. So as you inhale, imagine do it. Breathe into your low back so that if you have an excessive curve, it gets decreased. And as you exhale, pull your belly button into your spine. A few more times. Inhale. Exhale, belly button to spine. Inhaling, inflating into the back, lengthening through the back of the neck. Exhale, belly button to spine. Great, have a seat on your bum. Awesome. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of core work. So lay back on your back. Open your arms out like a cactus. And I want your shoulders to be going down with gravity and integrating into the shoulder sockets. So for some people, when they lay with their arms in cactus, their hands float up off the floor. That's an indicator that there's extra tension in the pecs. So instead of staying here, widen your hands, even if it means you have to take your hands down and forward towards your feet, but find a place where your arms can be, where your shoulders really feel like they're resting and they're grounding to the floor. And then we're gonna practice that breath again. So notice the position of your low back. Notice if there's a massive arch in it, and if there is, pull the ribs in so you don't have too much arch. If you're rounded, push the sit bones and the hips down until you have a little arch about underneath the back of your pants. Once you've created more of a just right arch, not too big, not too small, inhale into your low back. And then exhale, pull the belly button to the spine. Push all the air out. 2 more times. If you have a tendency to overarch, be really aware that your inhales don't add to your overarching because you inhale into the front of the belly, breathe into the back of the belly. If you tend to not have an arch, be careful that your exhales don't add to creating less of an arch. Okay, really nice. Now we're going to take our feet up, knees in line with, knees over the hips, knees in line with the feet. Flex the feet, spread the toes. Big toes can touch, pinky toes can spread. Now move both of your hips towards knees to the left. We're not going all the way over. I want you to only go as far as you can maintain right shoulder on the floor. Inhale, breathing into the back of the low back. And exhale, pulling the belly button to the spine. Come back to center, and then to the right. Inhaling, exhaling, back through center. My dog Sprocket came to say hi. Inhale to the left. Try to keep your knees stacked, so the right knee will want to drag behind the left knee. Inhale, come back through center to the left, right. To the left. One more round. Oh. Right, come back through center. Bring your feet to the floor. Hands can come to the belly. The heat, that fire element. Okay, nice. We're gonna do a little bit more core work. Sprocket, come over here. Over here. Come on, my blanket. Right there. Go upstairs and sit down. Okay, so watch first because it's a little complicated. So I'm gonna take my hands behind my head. Whenever the hands are behind the head, it's an indicator to push the head into the hands because normally we pull the neck up with our head. So we want our neck to stay in alignment with our spine. We want to be pushing the head into the hands, chin slightly tucked, and then you use your hands ever so slightly to pull the occiput, pull the base of the spine away from your neck. So the neck gets longer, shoulders pull down towards the heart. Okay, so inhale, breathing into the low back, lifting the head up, but not pulling the neck in, lengthening. And then as you exhale, you're gonna twist, right elbow to left knee, right leg extends, belly button pulls to the spine. Inhale, come back through center, breathe into the back, lengthen, lift up. Exhale, belly button pulls to the spine, twist to the right. Inhale, lengthen, lift up, breathe into the low back. Does that make sense? It's a doozy, it's a killer. Okay, we'll do it together. I'm gonna stop at some point and come watch you. Okay, hands behind your head, knees stacked. Keep your head on the floor and practice your breath. So inhale, breathing into the back of the lungs. When we do this, we'll really be lifting the head up. And then exhale, pulling the belly button to the spine. When we're really doing it, we'll be twisting to one side and extending one leg forward. Okay, here we go. Inhale, lift up, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Right elbow, left knee, right leg extends forward, belly button pulling to the spine. Inhale, come through center, lift up. Exhale, twist. Left elbow, right knee. Belly button to spine. Lengthen through the neck. Inhale, come back through center, lift up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lift up. Twist. Pull the belly in. Inhale, lift up. Twist. For some extra core work, you can squeeze right elbow into the left knee. Inhale through central lift up. Exhale, twist. Maybe elbow and knee squeeze together. Continue. Creating heat. Really nice. On your next inhale, lift up. And then lower down, take a break. Was that heat inducing? Yeah. Oh, nice, Steph, you're on. I was wondering who that was. I saw Dobie walk by. Okay. I learned that from Megan Curry. You guys did it way longer than I ever do it. It like kills my abs after like 3 rounds. We're gonna do it one more time, because why not? What else are we gonna do this Saturday quarantine day? You can repeat that same one, or you can do it with your legs straight. If you do it with your legs straight and your hamstrings tend to be stiff, the pelvis will tend to wrap under and the low back will flatten. So only straighten your legs as much as you can maintain pushing the hips down to the floor. So I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah, bud, I'm sorry. You can't be on my mat right now, love. Go on. Go on. Okay. So, same actions, but the legs will be extended. You'll inhale, lift up. Breathe into your low back. Really important that you're lengthening through your neck. And then you'll exhale, one leg will lower. Right leg lowers forward, it hovers, right elbow turns to left knee. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, belly button to spine. Okay, you keep doing that. Inhale, breathing into the back. Exhale, belly button to spine, twisting. Notice the emotion you feel. So sometimes when I do core work, I feel this like anger in me, and I'm like, I don't think I need more of this in my life. Well, you can stop doing it if that's what you're feeling. A few more if you're still going. Yeah, you guys are looking really good. It's so nice to be able to see your bodies move. And then on your next inhale, lift up, lengthen. Exhale, lower down, pull your knees towards your chest. Push your sitting bones down towards the floor. Bring your feet to the floor. Take your arms in your version of cactus. Feet about hip distance apart. Toes lift up and spread. Bring both of your knees towards the left. Lengthen through the knees. Keep your right rib cage down so get a little stretch through your core. Come back through center, knees towards the right. Push out through the knees, left rib cage down. Then come back to center. We're going to come back up to downward facing dog. So however you want to get there. Right, once you get back to downward facing dog, lift and broaden your hips, lift and broaden your shoulders. Notice the quality of your mind, the quality of your emotions, the quality of your body. Notice if you can feel like you're moving towards more balance or towards greater dis-ease. I often think this balance is the long game. So oftentimes the things that I think bring me to balance pretty quickly or to more happiness tend to bring me out of balance in the long run. So I have to be weighing like the instant gratification to the more longer lasting satisfaction. Look forward to come forward, bottom of your exhale, bring your feet forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen your heart forward. Take your hands to your hips, exhale, come to standing. So like in winter, or in summer, I'm Pitta, so I have a lot of fire in me. In the summer, it's hot, fiery. One of my favorite foods is hot sauce and hot food, but all of that is just so fiery. And the emotion of a fiery person is anger. So it's easier for me to go to anger if I'm doing all that fire. So in the moment, nachos with lots of hot sauce seems like instant gratification, but me yelling at kids for no reason, and ultimately not worth it. This is a fun conversation to be having with you guys. Okay, so we're gonna do some Utkatasana. So I'm gonna face you guys, but you guys just stand at the front of your yoga mat. Take your hands to your knees, bend your knees, Utkatasana prep. Chair pose, open your arms up like a cactus. And try to avoid massive back bend and try to avoid round. So butt back, spine long. Knees about in one line. Now from your belly button to your head, turn your chest to the right. And then look at your knees. Did your left knee push forward in front of your right knee? Come back through center. Try to avoid that with your hips. A little turn of the hips to the left. And now from your chest, turn to the right. And try to not let your left knee come too far forward. Right, come back through center. This time, hands in undulate. We're gonna go to the right one more time. Turn your chest to the right. Now hinge forward. Hook left elbow over outer right knee. I make a fist with my left hand. Push down, get your belly to lift up towards the sky. And keep your knees about in one line, hips turning towards the left. Deep breaths. Right now, look towards the floor. Find a drishti, a spot that's going to make it more likely for you to balance. This does not have to look perfect. This is one of my favorite things about doing these online classes, is there's no one next to you you need to compete with. So, like, this does not need to look smooth. Push through the right foot, lift up the left foot. Step your left foot back to a twisted lunge. If you fall out, just come into a twisted lunge, right foot forward, left elbow over outer right knee, twisting up towards the right. As you inhale, untwist, come up to a lunge, ground your back, heel warrior two. Front knee over your ankle, hips turning towards the left, arms wide, gaze over your front fingertips. Reverse warrior, get long. And then as you exhale, hands framing the front foot, step forward, Uttanasana. Options, stay in a forward fold, breathe, come up to standing, or you can do a variation of crow. So you can plant your hands and bend your elbows like we did in our chaturanga. Come up to the tippy toes, shins come up to the upper triceps, shifting the shoulders and chest forward, pushing strongly through the knuckles, either keeping your toes on, lifting one foot up, maybe both feet lift up. Really nice. When you're ready, come on out of that, come up to standing and shake it out. I had a student call me recently and said he was going through some stress recently, and he found himself just shaking his body like I've been making him do in class for years. It's like, awesome. If you guys ever have that happen, let me know. Okay, Utkatasana, second side, bend the knees. I want to say skiing prep, but unfortunately, that's less likely these days. Okay, hips counter twist slightly to the right. From your belly button to your head, turn your chest towards the left. And then come back through center. And again, lengthen, twist, Spanning your vertebrae from your tailbone up to your head, noticing if one vertebrae twists more than the others. Kind of stabilize that one more. Peek it to your right knee, keep it back. Come back through center. Okay, here we go, undulé. Twist towards the left. Come forward, hook right elbow over outer left knee. Peek it to your right knee. Pull the knee back. Shoulders integrated. Gaze down to the floor, get ready to step back to lunge. Push through the left foot, left knee to elbow squeezing, gives you more stability as you work your right foot back into a twisted lunge. Right hip lifting up so the hips are neutral. Big belly breaths. Releasing the accumulation of toxins, mucus, negative thought patterns, whatever it is. Inhale, open the arms like an warrior pose. Right pinky toe parallel to the back of your yoga mat. Reverse warrior two. Right hand to your right thigh, grow longer through your spine, power through your feet. Come back forward, plant your hands, step forward, Uttanasana. Again, your choice, stay here or do crow pose. Really nice. When you're done with your crow, step back, downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Come on up, lunge. Open your arms up like a cactus. Hips stay squared. Don't allow them to turn to the right. Turn your chest to the right. Keep lengthening up to the top of your head. Take your right hand to your low back and stretch your left arm long. Reverse lunge. And then take your left hand down wide. High runner's lunge like from the beginning of the class. You're gonna lower the left knee down. You can put a blanket down. And you can stay here in a high runner or a low lunge, hand down twist, or you can bend your back foot and reach back with your right hand. I prefer to come down on my left forearm. Shoulders draw back, chest turns to the right, left hip stays lifted. Deep breaths. Inhale, unwind. Let's push back into a half Hanuman for a moment. Front leg straightens. You could put blocks under your hands. Drag the sitting bones back. Use your hands to lengthen to the crown of your head. Active right foot. You can look at your right foot and sometimes the foot will twist. The big toe will pull back more than the pinky toe. So push the big toe forward and pull the pinky toe back slightly. That's really fascinating to me when I look at it. It's all of this allopathic medicine and just applying the opposite. Okay, bend your front knee over your ankle, downward facing dog, left leg up to the sky. Step your left foot forward between your hands. All right, come on up, lunge. Open up your arms, cactus. Then twist your chest towards the left. You increase your sensitivity so you can feel when that right hip comes forward. Draw the right hip back, push out through the elbows, and then left hand comes to the low back, straighten your right arm. Come forward, right hand plants, right knee comes down, right hip stays lifted. Turn your chest to the left and stretch left arm up, or reach back, hand to foot. And shoulders staying in their home position. Head linked and slightly tucking so the neck is long. Maybe come lower. As you inhale, unwind, straighten your front leg. Activate the foot. Right, then step back, downward facing dog. And have a seat on your heels for a moment. I'll show you what we're gonna do next. We're towards the peak of the mountain. We're gonna work towards side arm balance and we'll twist, do a shavasana, do a brief meditation. So we're gonna do this one downward facing dog, and this is like to practice adapting to the ever-changing circumstances of life, right? That's like, and that's so appropriate. I think it's cool to watch myself go through these challenges, watching these unexpected circumstances of life happening, and watch myself try to figure out how to deal with them. And it's pretty cool to watch me like be able to more quickly come back to like my heart and my center than I think it would have been if this were to happen like 10 or 20 years ago. Okay, so what will happen is we're gonna start in downward facing dog. And I want you to try to keep your shoulders symmetrical, shoulders into the sockets. And then we're gonna walk. I think it takes me about 4 steps. I'm gonna walk my feet 1, 2, 3, 4 towards the right. And when I do this, my right heel of my hand comes up a little bit. I have to still twist my chest a little bit to the left as my hips are going to the right. And then I'm gonna go back to down dog or plank, walk my feet to the left. Again, my left heel will lift a little bit. We'll do that maybe twice, and then finally when we come over here, we're gonna bend the elbows and squeeze right elbow into left knee. When the elbows bend, then I can get my hands flat, and then maybe the foot can lift. Does that make sense? Is that a head shakes? Let me see head nods or thumbs up. Does it make sense? Well, let's try. I'll watch you guys and try to be more informative. Okay, downward facing dog. Okay, get strong foundation of your hands and your hands. Know that the hands closest to the front foot, you'll lift up that heel a little bit. Begin to walk your feet towards the right side of your hands. The knees will bend. And then counter, keep walking, the knees will bend a little bit. And then, nice, try to not let your shoulders shift, and then walk your feet back, down dog. And then walk your feet over to the left side of your hands. Nice. And then walk. So Navasandharta. You gotta walk, you bend your knees and walk your feet further forward. Walk your feet over to the right. Walk, 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 walk. So the toes will stay facing forward. Yeah, that looks more like it. Okay, so now this time, try bending your elbows, shifting your shoulders forward. So it's kind of like you're coming into a chaturanga arm, and take your left knee towards your right shoulder. So I've walked my feet over, bending my elbows. I have to wing out my right arm a little bit into my left knee. Hands strong, maybe left leg kicks out. And yeah. Try it on your other side. Okay, really nice. Shake out your hands. Okay, so we're gonna do side crow option one more time. So 3 options here. You could sit and do a meditation. I'd consider that the most advanced, knowing you really don't need any of these poses. Or you could do crow pose on both hands, no twisting, or you can go into side crow. So an easier or more accessible way to get into side crow is like to come into a squat, turn, plant your hands, then I walk my feet forward so I'm in that position, and then come forward. Hips turn in one direction, and your chest turns in the opposite direction so the shoulders stay squared. Okay, give one of those 3 options a try. When you've done both sides, meet in a seated meditation. And you might notice what storyline is present in your head. Maybe you're just like crystal clear and just tune me out. Or is there a predominant storyline that's not helpful that's showing up? And maybe it's a storyline that's been showing up for a few weeks or for 30 years or for a long time. We tend to attach to these and then repeat them. And that creates that like bigger imbalance. So it's helpful for me to identify some of the storyline in my head that I tend to repeat a lot that takes me further away from that sattvic experience. And then once I identify them, when I feel them come up, it's easier for me to be like, no, I don't need more of that in my life. Some big ones for me are comparisons and like worthiness. And it's easier for me to be like, I'm not adding that ingredient to this because I already have way too much of that. We're gonna move into a twist. So another twist, shocker. This is a Matsyendrasana fish twist. So let's take your left leg and pull your left knee in and cross your right foot over the outside edge of your left knee. So your right foot's planted on the floor, your left knee comes forward, and then make sure that your left foot is on the outside edge of your right hip. Sometimes people sit in this posture and by mistake they put their left foot over to the outside edge of the left hip. So your bum is sitting between your left foot and your right foot. Right knee up to the sky. Hold the knee and lengthen up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to take a twist to the right. So right hand comes behind the back. Start by hugging the knee. So the left arm's gonna hug the right knee into the chest. Lengthen up towards the sky. Turning the chest towards the right, hips turning slightly to the left. You're getting a little bit more twist action at your navel. And then do your long, deep breathing. Inhale, feeling low belly, ribs, collarbones, all the way up, front, sides, back of the body. And then exhale, belly button pulls into the spine. Inhale, unwind. We're going to keep the legs crossed like this. And the right hip can lift, and we're going to turn to the left. My right hip lifts at this point. Both of my hands come to the floor. And I do like a bow. So I like bow my forehead to the floor. Sometimes I stretch my right hand straight. I think that feels really good. Breathing into your low back, that portion of the lungs that we tend to not use. And then come back to the center and switch your legs. Right knee comes forward and bends, left leg steps up, foot on the floor, left knee to the sky, right foot to the outside edge of the left hip. Get taller. Notice your tendencies with the spinal curves. If you tend to round, focus on lifting up a lot. If you tend to back bend, pull the floating ribs in, and then twist from the right to the left. Right elbow hugs in the left knee for a little bit more gentle of a twist. Continue to get taller. Hips turn ever so slightly to the right in deep breaths. And if your eyes are open, finding one spot to look so it's not stimulating the mind to think more. And if your eyes are closed, draw them up towards the center of the forehead. As you inhale, lengthen, untwist, turn to the right, bow. Stretch your left arm forward. Great, come back up through center, straighten the legs. We'll do a little lymphatic massage. The lymph doesn't have a pump, so the lymph, which helps, cleans the body, makes us less likely to get sick. So tapping's a great one. So tap your feet, legs. Always gentle on the joints. I like to circle mine, quads. Low back, kidneys, belly, heart, your thymus gland, which is kind of like towards the bottom, middle of your sternum, shoulders, arms, forearms, back of the neck, head. And then I kind of wash it off. Okay, we're going to lay on our back for Shavasana, or you can sit upright for a seated meditation. Probably do about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to go over class a little bit because I really want to do this 3-minute meditation. So get yourself ready for whatever you're choosing, Shavasana or seated meditation.
Notice if your mind comes in and tries to talk to you, maybe about something very important, like your many plans for today, without any kind of judgment, if you can release it into just more spaciousness, more space for you to exist and be. Geo, connect to your soul, the spirit that animates you. Begin to deepen your breath. Now stay where you are for about 1 more minute. Slowly begin to bring yourself back. In a few minutes, we're going to do a meditation for cold depression. This is a Kundalini meditation. It's really brief, 3 minutes. I want to read what it says cold depression is. So it says cold depression is when the external demand is greater than the internal capacity to deliver, and we have spent our reserves. We are depressed, but we are so numb and insensitive to our own self, we do not feel it. The depression is therefore cold, it's subtle. This leads us to inner anger and isolation from our soul. It's often called geo in Sanskrit. Cold depression is when we are cut off from our spirit, source, strength, and inner guidance. At its core, it is a deep sense of loneliness, a prevailing sense of anxiety, and a loss of meaning. What causes cold depression can be information overload, unrelenting stress, and a rapid change. Right, so I thought those were all very appropriate. It's bigger, faster, and more. These are all elements of our modern life. And it says breathing and chanting can help conquer this cold depression. So when you're ready, begin to make yourself up to a seated meditation. Kundalini Yoga is similar to Anusara, where they want you to tune in with a specific mantra. The mantra is also very similar to the Anusara. Anusara, we say Om Namah Shivaya Gurave. In Kundalini, we say Om Namo Gurudev Namo. So it's Om, O-N-G, not Om. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. So draw your hands in front of your heart. We'll do it 3 times. So inhaling. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Okay, so this meditation has a mudra. You're going to interlace your hands so the fingers are crossing. And then we're going to extend the index fingers up. Index fingers push together, and they say to push the finger pads into the little cavities between your knuckles. And then for women, or if you identify more with female, you cross your left thumb over your right. If you identify more with masculine, you cross your right thumb over your left. And then you hold that in front of your heart. I'm going to be repeating the mantra, Wa He Guru. We'll do that 3 times. Wa He Guru, Wa He Guru. And then the 4th one, Wa He Jio. And where you feel it, you want to visualize. So I love these because they give you so many things to think about. It makes it hard for the mind to try to come in here and think. So when you say Wa, you imagine it coming from your navel. You just do your best. This isn't perfect, that's fine. Wa, navel, He, heart, Guru, lips. Wa, navel, He, heart, Guru, lips. Same thing with the Geo. Wa, navel, He, heart, Geo, lips. And the gaze, eyes are barely open, looking at the tip of the nose. Okay? And then you inhale through your nose. So it'll look like this. We'll start in one. It'll be like, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Geo. And we'll continue like that. Wa, He is like, isn't it amazing? Like, what? Like, wow, so amazing. And Guru is this process of moving from darkness to light, or this process of remembering that we are the light. Geo is your soul. So it's like how amazing this process is that we're going through, where we get to remember again and again who we are. That's why I translate it. Okay, sit up nice and tall. If you can't get the tip of your nose gaze, if you look at your finger and then bring it and touch your nose, that's a good way of finding it. The first few times that I did this tip of the nose gaze, I'd keep forgetting, so that's totally fine. Sit nice and tall. Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Jio, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Jio, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Jio, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Jio, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Jio, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Jio, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Jio, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Jio, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Jio, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Jio, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Jio, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Jio. Only 30 seconds left. Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Guru, Wa, He, Jio, Waheguru, 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 Waheguru. Inhale, hold your breath. Imagine that you can release all of your irritation and frustration and anger. Just like that accumulation that's inside of you just pushes out. Exhale. Inhale. Hold the breath, lengthen. This time think about the preciousness of life. Exhale. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Stretch up through the spine. Twist to the right or the left, and then right, and left, and then right, and then 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 up. And then stretch out, around, and down. And just sit, eyes closed, notice how you feel. I've been doing that meditation daily now for a few weeks. And it's an easy one for me to get in because it's so short. And that seems really applicable right now to what we're going through. Draw your hands in front of your heart. In Kundalini Yoga, we end with this song called The Long Time Sun. And I'll say it to you a few times, and then after, I'll say it 2 times, and then we'll end with 2 Satnams. And I love Satnam. It means truth is my identity, or I vibrate with the truth. Not all of the hashtag fake news. Sat vibrates up into the 3rd eye, and it's a little bit longer, and Nam is the heart. Well, and it's a little bit shorter. We'll do it. I'll go through Long Time Sun 2 times and end with 2 Satnams. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Inhale. Beautiful. Satnam. Namaste. And if anyone wants to stay and talk, chat for a minute, you can unmute yourself.
Thank you, Kim. That was great.
Thanks. It was so nice having you all here. Did you guys need a password to get onto Zoom? I had a bunch of people texting me asking me what the password was.
They just told me that you had to let me in.
Yeah, I think I need to do something in the settings so people can get in. Since I had to manually let them in.
It took me a few tries to get in.
Right, me too.
That's why I had, yeah.
I used the password that you had on your Instagram post. So
I had
it's there.
Password? Oh, I didn't know that. It was nice doing it in body because they did all this stuff for me. So now I'm having to figure it out.
You did a good job.
Oh, they changed it last week, James. I'll have to go in and see if. Okay, a good idea. I don't know if, I think you guys all are here, so I think you saw my newsletter or my post. Lindsay, there's your face. Not just a black box. I have a website. On my website, I have a post. I'm listing all of my past recorded classes, and I have the Zoom link. So I'll figure out the password situation, and I'll update it there. And I'll put it on my social media too. Bye, James. Thanks for being here.
Hey, Kim, I have a question.
Yes, Liz.
For those of us that don't have Venmo, do you have an alternate way we can send something to you?
I have PayPal. Do you have PayPal?
No, but I can go in as a non-person, maybe? I don't know.
I wonder how I do it. Let me see if I can look up my PayPal. I also have Wells Fargo. I think they have like Zillow or something.
So, yeah, I think so.
Let me see.
Venmo's pretty cool. It's actually not that to set up. I think it's free if you attach it to your bank account or debit card.
Yeah, I really like.
I could do it through him if I can get a hold of him.
I was very like against doing Venmo for a long time, and I think it was Megan who got me onto it, and now I love it. Let's see. So I think if you just look up my name on PayPal,
then I can link to.
Yeah, and
okay.
You can message me too if you have a problem.
Okay.
I'm not at InBody right now, so I do think some people might be told that their past works at InBody. And these are also by donation, so if you feel like you don't have money, you do not need to pay. But it's not a part of the InBody class pass. It's so good to see all of your faces.
I know. Great to see you, Kim.
How does everyone feel like they're doing?
I have been doing twists wrong for years.
I went through that too. I feel like it's like a rite of passage. I don't really think like, oh, I'm like, here's my next passage.
Hi,
Kim.
Bye, Steph.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Monica.
Classes online.
What, Gina?
Thank you. I so appreciate all these classes online.
Good. I'm glad you're here.
How are your kids doing?
My kids are doing good. I think like we're really liking the quarantine. Like there's a lot of stuff that's horrible that's happening right now, but it's been really, really nice just to spend so much time with them and to not feel like we're rushing. Like I feel like before, even when I'd hang out with them, in my head I'd have like 5 other things I needed to be doing. But now there's like really nothing I need to do. So I feel like I can play with them in a way where I'm not as like annoyed, you know, like I can like really appreciate who they are, and it's been really nice. How about your kids?
Doing well. School is a little bit challenging, but we're getting into the groove of it.
Is your husband working like 24/7?
So we're on day 13. 12 to 15 hours a day.
Wow. Your husband's a doctor, so like love to him.
Gina, was that your little one that went walking by you?
Me or Kim?
Gina. That was
My cat went walking by. I don't know if I wasn't paying attention to what.
no, I think that was my friend Steph. Her daughter was walking around.
Oh, okay. One of my kids snuck up the stairs. I don't think she can get all the way in.
Kim, the one benefit of full practice is it's helped more of a home practice for me.
What was that, Diane?
Oh, I was saying the benefit of doing because it's helped inculcate more of a home practice for me. And
I agree.
think that keeps sanity.
Right.
And
It is
Carolyn
cool.
practiced a couple times together.
I heard that you've been practicing with Diane. That's so cool. I do think the benefit is people are doing a home practice and they're really motivated, you know, like to keep their sanity, like, okay. And they have time, you know.
And I like it on Zoom so much better because I can't hit pause.
I have noticed I struggle for like Kundalini classes. I didn't realize how much I fast forward them. So like when it's Zoom, I'm like, oh, I can't believe I still have to do this.
Totally.
What did you guys think of the meditation?
That was beautiful. It was interesting to bring in the Kundalini because I haven't taken Kundalini classes, so you know, it was foreign but nice.
You're not really supposed to mix them, you know, like there's all these rules.
I think you can.
I'm a rule follower. You wouldn't know it, but like I really like to follow the rules. But with all of this happening, I'm like, whatever. I can do a short Kundalini meditation at the end, and I think it's been a passion of mine for like 3 years. So I'm excited to be able to teach like little snippets of it.
Good. Well, that's it was nice to try something different. I haven't taken a Kundalini class, so I enjoyed it.
Well, you're gonna have to come to at least one, Carol, when I start teaching real Kundalini classes.
I will be there. What's happening with 21st Yoga?
So I think they're still doing a few classes that they're streaming on Facebook. She laid all of us off. So so she laid all of us off. She's hoping that she can hire us back. And I really hope so. I love 21st. I think they're doing some streaming classes on Facebook. Centered City is still open and teaching public classes for small groups, but I have removed myself from that right now because I want to stay home with my kids, and then same with InBody streaming classes too, but I want to stay with my kids. It'll be so interesting to see what happens when this is over.
I think it will change some of the, I think some of our routines will change, and they'll probably offer online classes. Do you think?
Right. I think so. I posted a really good article on Facebook I liked that was recently that was talking about like this campaign they're gonna do through like the media and the government of trying to get things back to normal, and about how we're gonna really have to use our awareness and our consciousness to choose what we want to bring back into our routine and who we want to support and who we want to be listening to. I thought was super interesting. Yeah, I don't know how my class schedule will change. I'm trying to not think about that too much, but I might continue doing online classes if that's like wanted.
Are you getting more people? I mean, online? Are you getting people who can say, oh, well, I can do it in my home and I don't have to drive anywhere, or you can broaden your reach a little bit?
I'm from farther places.
Yeah.
So,
please continue the online.
Yeah, like Natalia.
Yes, especially, yeah, I love it. You're my favorite yoga teacher. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. I know it's Tyler's like, he does not like me teaching Saturdays. He's like, he's gonna be home with the family. So he's like so happy that I'm still at the house.
Good, well, go enjoy.
Okay, have a nice day, guys. Thank you, Karen.
Thanks
so much.
Okay, well, kiss.
Blow kisses.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, bye, Diane.